Welcome to the Zaxby's Coaches Show, brought to you by First Bank and by Zaxby's Friends Family Flavor, with your host, Chris Delambert.
Welcome to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. I'm Chris Delambert. With me, coach of the Lee County Yellow Jackets, Steve Burdeau. Steve, big win this weekend. Wilson Fight came to town, and we were talking before we came on the air. They dropped to 1-4. For my money, that might be the best 1-4 team in the state.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're a very well-coached team. They've had a very tough schedule, and they gave us a good game.
Well, they had a pair of running backs that gave you guys fits, and big play after big play. In the booth, we covered the game for television. It felt several times like that game had gotten away from them, and we were going in, and we'd kind of go off script and start telling stories, and there goes Spike scoring again. Final score 46-27. I don't think that the spread was really indicative of how that game ebbed and flowed. What was your takeaway?
Yeah, they had a couple big plays here and there. We played a lot of guys. We had a couple guys banged up. 2 of them we scratched right before the game with some stomach stuff going on. So we got thin real quick. And I think that kind of played into maybe them getting a couple more scores than we would have liked.
Well, across the board, we noticed that during the telecast that you played early on. There was a lot more rotation of players than before, and we didn't know if you were trying to get guys some experience, build some depth, but there was an illness going around. You had a little bug?
Well, a little bit of everything. We had 3 guys we knew were going to be out going into the game that were key guys for us, and then 2 more that play a whole lot. Right before the game, we weren't going to be able to play.
Okay.
So it put us in a depth issue quick.
All right, so this week, Anson County comes to town.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about the challenges you face there.
Anson has a really good backfield. They're a very athletic team. They have a very good receiver. So on offense, they're very dynamic. On defense, they have a number 4. Their linebacker is one of the best linebackers we've seen so far, if not the best.
All right, you got a pretty good one of your own.
Oh, yeah. Well, luckily we get to see a pretty good defense in practice every day, so that helps us out a little bit. But as far as an opponent, he's at the top of it.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about the effort with Larry Baldwin this weekend. You talked about all the guys that were out. Baldwin normally gets a couple of carries at the tailback position and is the anchor of that defense in the middle as the middle linebacker. But this weekend, on Friday night, did he play every snap? It seemed like
it was pretty close. We moved him even to a little bit of safety. He plays Mike linebacker usually for us, but we moved him to safety some, and he took about 20 carries in the backfield and averaged about 7 or 8 yards a carry. He really stepped up in the time of need. Another one that did is Tyreek McKendall. We moved him in the backfield a little bit, and he played a whole lot of snaps.
Well, McKendall, the first time he touched the ball, goes 27 yards for a touchdown. Then he had a catch later. With a guy like Baldwin, at the end of a game like that, is he excited to have played so many snaps on both sides of the ball, or is he just like gassed, like, Coach, you can't do that to me?
No, Larry wants to play. I asked him after the game how tired he was. He said he could have played another half. I was like, all right.
Well, all right. Everybody's excited about the game with Anson County this weekend, but there's a bigger story going on at Lee County this weekend. The 1967-68 team, group of guys that were there for several years when it was Sanford Central back in the day, will be having their 50th reunion. Now, the reunion was scheduled for last year, and it got rained out by the hurricane, but they are coming, and they're going to have the festivities associated with that. We can't let the cat out of the bag. It's top secret.
Yes, sir.
But there is a very special part of that program that I can't encourage people enough. You have to come out and be a part of this. This is something that will last forever, and it's amazing. I wish I could tell everybody what it was.
Definitely so.
What can you tell without letting people know exactly what it is?
I think it's going to be a true honor. It's something very well deserved, and it's going to be a special event. I think everybody in this community should come out and see it. There's a 50-year anniversary of a great team and a great program. I hope everybody comes and watches.
Yeah, people from back then, say that football kind of began and ended with Lee County and Sanford back then. That's a team. I was talking to Tom Haslip, who was a quarterback for that team for 3 years. I think they lost 2 games over a 3-year period. The last year going 13-0, but it'll be great to see those guys back on hand, and what they have in store, you got to be a part of. So you got to be there. What time's the kick on Friday evening?
7 o'clock kickoff.
7 o'clock kickoff. Get there early. I promise it's not going to take up too much time during the course of the game, but you'll want to be there for it. Check it out. We're going to be back to award some hardware with First Bank right after this break.
Guys, it's back! Inline skating.
Rock and roll hair?
Calling this thing a pound sign instead of a hashtag? No, the sensation is back at Zaxby's.
The Zensation Salad is back, and introducing the new Zensation Filet Sandwich Meal with hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, both served with an egg roll. The Zensation Salad and Filet Sandwich Meal, only at Zaxby's.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
All right, welcome back to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. I'm Chris Delambert, Coach Steve Burdeau of the Lee County Yellow Jackets. You got two young men here we're going to honor as players of the game. First Bank, we want to thank you for your support and for sponsoring these trophies. Who do we have with us?
All right, so we got two guys with us today, offensive and defensive lineman Duran McCoy and receiver Tim Lett. All right, that's two of the guys. Tim Lett is our offensive player of the game this week. He had a touchdown, several catches, several big blocks. One thing that we don't get enough credit for at receiver is how well these guys block, and Tim is a guy that gets in there and gets nasty with that stuff and takes pride in doing that, not just the nice things. He likes to get in there and block a little bit. And Duran was the defensive player of the week this week. And Duran plays offensive line, defensive line, and a little bit of special teams as well. Another really good guy blocking. Had several tackles for loss. Almost had a block kick. So he's doing some big things for us.
I want to start with Mr. McCoy. How did you guys not get one of those punts? Every time they punted, we thought for sure it was going the other way, and it was almost impossible for you guys not to get one, and you managed not to get a hand on it. How close were you?
I was like, if I would have jumped, I would have got it.
Oh, all right. You going to get one this weekend? All right. We'll be looking for that. Mr. Lett, you had the touchdown that sort of salted the game away. But I'm sure if I were to ask you off camera, I'm going to just put it on camera. There were a couple early I think you'd like to have back. Is that true?
Yeah, I had a few drops.
All right. But you came back, bounced back big. And now you missed some time early in the season. What was that all about?
I had a little back issue. I mean, I'm good now.
Everything's cleared up? All right. You guys are 5-0. You're off to a great start. Coach, where are we at expectations-wise? Are you guys hitting on all 8 cylinders yet?
I think we've got to continue to build depth. That was a big thing for us this offseason and definitely through the preseason. I think some through injuries and some through just by playing, we have built some. This week will be another big test for us before our bye week.
All right, so since it doesn't cost you an L in a game where you were shorthanded, 5 contributors that missed significant time, it's almost a blessing in disguise, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys reps, and a lot of guys got meaningful, early reps where they might used to be playing the third and fourth quarter where it's not too much pressure on them. So I think that hopefully will pay off for us later.
All right, A.J. Boulware missed this week, a little bit of an ankle issue. 100% for this weekend?
Yeah, he should be back, ready to roll.
All right. So with the reps that, in particular, Baldwin and McKendall have gotten at tailback, is that going to be? Is it going to dilute what happens with Boulware when he comes back, or is it going to be his ball?
We have a great running back coach, Coach Willits, and I'm going to let him handle the rotation. But I think the good thing is going to be we know we have several guys that can go back there and touch the rock.
All right. So on hand at the ball game this weekend, UNC and Virginia Tech were both there.
Yes, sir.
Anybody slated it? Any other programs slated, scheduled to be in attendance?
I have not heard yet, but those two guys came up like last Wednesday, so we might know. I guess later in the week. Hopefully a couple more people will show up.
I was a little concerned they were going to get into it, but they managed to.
They're professionals.
They managed to make it out of there. All right. Anything you guys like to add?
Good.
All right. Every time I ask, you tell me the goal was a state championship. Has anything changed? Perfect.
Shout out to Coach Jacobs.
Coach, you have anything to add?
No, I just appreciate everything that all our coaches do and how much they do behind the scenes that people don't know about. I just really appreciate how hard they work.
All right, and one more time, at Lee County, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff. Big surprise in store. You'll want to be there to be a part of history. Come check it out. Be on hand at Paul B. Gay Stadium Friday evening. You get to be a part of history and then get to watch the Yellow Jackets put it on Anson County. Is that right?
That's the plan.
All right, very good. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Southern League Cavaliers.
It's game day at Classic Nissan. The starting lineup. Your captains on offense, number 5, Holden Cruz. And number 10, Jasmine Dowell. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandrin. Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Welcome back to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. Chris Delambert here, joined by Coach Ken Neal, head coach of the Southern League Cavaliers. Coach, how are you?
Oh, we're doing good. Appreciate you letting us come out here. We'll be out here with everybody tonight and honoring and recognizing our kids. Going to stop falling on Lee County, though.
We'll make sure you guys are first out of the chute.
I'm thinking. It gives me a chance to get over there and get practice done and then clean everything up and then come over here all joking
Yeah, but
aside.
see, what you don't understand is that the first out of the chute usually gets cut short. See, you and I got about twice as much time because I cut early. So there you go. We can just hang out.
Well, I mean, I'll talk to you all night long.
Oh, I know.
The cameras will run out, batteries will run out before I get through talking with you. So.
Now, you missed the first installment last week. Rob Patterson came out and stood in your stead. You were a little under the weather. You feeling better?
Yeah, we had a little bit. It's gone through the team, to be honest with you, though.
All right, now we're sitting awful close together.
I'm good now. I know fever or nothing,
but
I mean, we got kids that are still cycling through that sickness, and you know, as it turns out, we have a bye this week, so hopefully we can get well and heal it up and move on. Because
let's talk about that first.
Yep.
You guys got a bye this week that you didn't plan on.
That's right.
Now, how much effort was exerted trying to find a game to fill that?
A lot, and there is actually still a small ray of hope for next week getting a replacement. But it's so hard to get everything like that pulled together in the end. So there's still a small ray of hope there for next week. It won't be this Friday, obviously, but for the next Friday.
All right, now I don't want to disrespect Virginia Central, which is the team you were supposed to be playing this week.
Yep.
One would expect that you should win that ball game.
Well, I mean,
you got to play the game. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but as it applies to scheduling, not playing that week and not having a chance to get a W there isn't going to allow you to drop one of those early non-conference L's off of your schedule for the playoffs. Talk a little bit about what that means and the math, the way they do playoff selection and seeding.
You know, the key is this, though, is to give us the best possible chance. We need to win all of our conference games, be the first place team out of our conference, and that will allow us to have the best seed we could possibly get anyway.
Yes, sir.
And the last couple of years, it's come down between us and Crosstown to do that, and they've been able to pull those out and win them.
I feel like you just did a Woody Hayes and was like, that school out
on the other
east.
side.
Yeah.
We get along great. I was on the side, Coach Burdeau and I do, but I mean, I'm 0-2. I don't like that. You know, I need to get to 2-2 first. We'll start with 1-2, hopefully, right? But again, it always comes down to the kids. It doesn't matter. I consider him a friend. I think he would me too. But it comes down to those kids playing and executing and doing the things. And you know, I think the older folks in the community have more of a rivalry. Our kids know each other, and they do everything on Facebook and Twitters and Snap, whatever all that junk is. I mean, they do all that and stuff. I'm sure it amps up, and there's some heat stuff sometimes during the week they're playing each other. But I mean, they know each other. Our kids know their kids. Cedric and Covington kid were out here doing shot put over the summer together. I mean, those two kids know each other, grew up together. half of them are cousins or whatever, each other. Just one lives in our district, the other one lives in that district. So we'll hopefully both of us will take care of the first 4 conference games, and then we can settle in Lee County again.
Well, you guys got out of the gate slowly. 0-2. No shame in dropping a game to Pinecrest, who, is a bigger school, a traditional power. But there had to be some doubt creeping in when you guys got out of the gate 0-2. The offense wasn't moving the ball effectively, consistently. But here over the last 3 weeks, this triple option you installed is starting to look pretty scary. Talk about what's changed.
Well, we're doing what we're supposed to do. I'm not trying to belittle, but the first 2 games, I told somebody earlier, I felt like you just got to keep the wheels on the wagon. But when you're playing tough teams, and we had a great opportunity to learn from those things, because we had a lot of things we did not do right in those games. I mean, there's some things we did right, but there's a lot of things we did wrong. Hope County, play or 2 here and there. We're off of 1 foot on the pass, changes that game. Pinecrest, we got a chance, in my opinion, to be 14-13 at halftime.
Yeah.
We throw a pick 6, they block the field goal and take it back. Next thing you know, it's 28-10, and then you can just see the air come out of our kids. And I told them I'm more disappointed that they kind of, I hate to use the word quit, but they kind of quit in the second half more so than I cared about the final score. If they played their tail off and lose, that's fine, but we didn't play our tail off in the second half. And that's what I was disappointed in, not the score necessarily.
All right, for folks that don't know, you hold the distinction of having earned the first home playoff game in Southern Lee history.
That wasn't played on our
last
field.
year that ended up being played crosstown on that other school's field.
Yeah,
but still was a home playoff game. But Franklinton, in a barn burner, knocked you guys out of the playoffs. You got a little bit of redemption. How much did that mean to your kids to knock off Franklinton this year?
I think it meant a lot, because we talked about it as soon as the Cedar Ridge game was over. We talked about somebody owed us something. They in fairness to them, last year they took it back, but we felt like we lost it, in my opinion, and those kids did. Now, some of these kids played in that game, some of these kids didn't. But I told them, I said, look, we owe them a full game of playing hard football and not letting them creep back in on us like we did last year. And I think we kind of give it to them until, maybe the middle part of the fourth quarter, when we kind of pull back and put some different kids in and let them get some playing time. But it was nice, and people calling and congratulating me for beating Franklin. I'm like, geez, we beat Franklin, and that's great. But I appreciate it. Thank you. You're welcome. All that stuff. But that's a team we should have beat. I don't want to get congratulated on beating teams that people don't think we're supposed to beat. Not a team that when we go out, we beat them. We were 35-0. We obviously should have beat them.
Yes.
You don't have to congratulate me. Let's go beat somebody in the state championship game, then call me and congratulate me and say, yeah, man, we didn't think you were going to do it, but we did, right? Then congratulate me for that. Not on the team I'm supposed to beat.
All right, so you had an off season full of transition and a little bit of turmoil. Yeah. The biggest move, perhaps, was the loss of your offensive coordinator from the previous year.
Yes, sir.
So your decision was to take over the offense yourself,
yes, sir,
call the plays, and install really a completely new offense.
It is.
With a senior quarterback who's playing for his 4th offensive coordinator.
I know. Ain't that something?
Oh, I tell you what. So talk a little bit about what your decision-making process was going to the triple option, and then what's worked well, what's been different than you expected, and where you guys go from here.
Well, Thomas is very, very smart and can get you in the right plays, and from the quarterback standpoint. But what people don't understand is he's a pretty good athlete too. He's a Division I baseball commit. So most people don't think baseball players are athletes, but he's a D1 athlete, y'all. He can do things and make plays. So you got him. And we got a nice little group of skill kids that we can rotate around in the slot receiver, outside receiver, tailback, dive back. Rodney and Nick kind of both complement each other at the dive backs. But Nick has lost so much weight, he's almost like a daggone tailback now, right? So, and Rodney's coming back now healthy. He got I think he got 12 reps in the game the other night.
That's great news.
And it was really good for him to get that in, considering we lost this game right now, to get all that mental doubt out of his head, so he can now moving forward, he's like, okay, I've got my reps in, my leg didn't fall off when I ran. The mental part of the injury is the hardest thing to come back from sometimes. So that's all done. Now we can move forward with him getting ready to go to conference. But, you know, there's a lot of things we can do with those skill kids we got back there. Thomas can put us in the right play. And by the way, he can throw the ball now.
Yes, he can.
A lot of option teams can't throw the ball, and you make people have to get in man coverage with you a lot of times to defend you. And he has the ability to put the ball on those receivers. And that really, some of the younger kids are stepping up and making catches for us now, too. That they didn't make in the first game. They made in the last 2 or 3 games. You know, but I mean, we run a play action pass off of our triple option. We run the ball, and we're throwing the ball deep. That's what we're trying to do. And he can throw it short, but we want to throw that thing deep. And when we pass it, I want it to be in the end zone. And that's the play action off of that, you know.
All right, very good. Now, you've got a unique challenge. It's not very often, assuming you're not able to fill that week next week. What do you do with these kids for 2 weeks?
Well, today we just cleaned up stuff. You know, we cleaned up stuff. We came in, put a few new packages in on defense, little things we've been playing with that kind of not necessarily holding back, but saving for later on, not put on tape, because these guys get films of you. All these guys get film of you, whether it's conference game or not. They'll find film on you from somebody, some friend they got from they graduated with elementary school. They'll give them a daggone copy of the thing. So, you know, everybody gets film. So you want to get things going that you've been working on that you hadn't shown yet. So we did that some today. We cleaned up. You know, option, you always had to work your mesh drills and the handoffs, and we were kind of sloppy at the first week with it a little bit, and it's got better and better and better and better. And now sometimes I even know what the play is, and sometimes I'm looking, I'm like, did he pull that or keep, you know, because he's getting so good at riding that mesh up in there, Thomas is, and you're like, did he give it? No, he pulled it. Okay, good. Because, you know, he's getting better and better at that as he gets comfortable with it, and the back's got to be comfortable with it. That's something we got to make sure Rodney gets back into too, because Rodney has been limited with that. Nick and Key and DeAndre, those guys have been the ones working that mesh, and we got to get Rodney back in there and get him used to that too, because it's a different feel.
Very good. So, new defensive coordinator this year as well.
Yep.
Rob Patterson over on the defense. Talk a little bit about players that have risen to the occasion, because that's a young defense you're trotting out there.
The whole linebacker core,
yes,
is young. You know, let's see, Trevor Jr., John's a sophomore, and Key is a senior, but he's been really pulled over the offense the last couple of weeks. But even though he's a senior, you know, he didn't play till last year. And then he got hurt before we started conference last year. So that's a young kid there still yet, even though he's a senior. They are doing really well and grabbing our whole information and absorbing it and taking it in. You know, some of those guys have different skill sets that we're still figuring out. And, you know, you want to kind of baby them along, but at some point you got to like, okay, training wheels are off, cuz let's roll. You got to go now. It's time to go, right? And it's about time to take training wheels off really right now, you know, as we move into this part of the season. But they're doing really well. You know, in the secondary, you got, you know, Tanoa, EJ, Tix, Elijah Donaldson back there. Tix his nickname, but Tix back there. AJ West is a younger kid stepping in there at safety. He's still feeling things out a little bit. You know, D-line wise, you got Julian Barnes and then the Wesley kid moving up to varsity, but you got Elijah Barrett and Cedric inside. They're really tough.
Yes, sir.
They make it a lot easier all the way around. You know, that young linebacker that's in the middle he's about got free range of motion, because them two guys in front of him require a whole lot of work and effort to get them out of there. So, and John's doing great with that too. But I mean, I hate to say this, but he's unblocked a lot of times. I mean, he needs to do great there. If he can't do great there, he can't do great at all, right?
I hear you.
And he's done a great job with that, though. See, but I mean, the main thing is just keep working and getting better, you know, and not panic if you lose a game. You know, you start 0-2, everybody's nervous and worried, and I don't want to be 0-2, but
nobody does.
But I know this: if you freak out, you're going to be 0-3.
Yes, sir.
You know, so just keep your nose to the grindstone and work hard and play the next opponent.
All right, very good. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to award some more hardware, the Southern League players of the game from this past weekend. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the trophy presentation.
Welcome to the Zaxby's Coaches Show, brought to you by First Bank and by Zaxby's Friends Family Flavor, with your host, Chris Delambert.
"90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
Welcome back to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. Coach, we're joined on set with two of your superstars.
Yeah.
Who do we have with us?
Number 1, DeAndre Bukowski. Number 50, this is Chops. I called him Pork Chop all last year. I didn't get his nickname right for about half of the year, but it's Chops, Elijah Barrett, okay? D tackle, and actually DeAndre, he's played so many different positions this year. I don't know what we would call him. He's a utility guy, but he's kind of settling in now. He's been more of the tailback stuff, role for us, and that's where you earned this from.
So I asked Coach Patterson last week when he was on if he would take it easy on you at the tailback position because you're the backup quarterback, and he said no. DeAndre's a football player, and we're going to put him out there wherever because he can play so many different positions and do so many different things. Given your choice, if Coach wasn't sitting here and it was just me and you talking, what position would you want to get reps at on the football field? Tailback. Tailback? Fair enough.
And that's where he's been going. That's a good answer, isn't it?
All right, very good. And Chops, where's that come from?
Cousin.
Your cousin? Did he just just pulled it out of the air?
She just came up with it when I was young.
And it stuck. You've never been able to shake it? I love it. Congratulations, guys. Big win this weekend. You guys, tell me what it was like to get revenge on Franklinton. Did it make last year feel any better? No?
It just made me feel happy. I accomplished a goal.
All right, you guys have been in the program long enough. You know, Friday nights are supposed to be game nights, and now you're not just going into a bye week. You're looking at the specter, maybe you're not playing for 2 weeks in a row. How does that mess up your rhythm? How do you deal with that?
Work hard, practice every day, make the effort to not lose that momentum.
Okay. Okay, so you guys started slowly, 0-2 coming out of the gate, and it's a program that's been a winner for a few years now, so the expectations are a little bit higher than they used to be. How did you guys feel at 0-2? Did you ever have any doubt that you guys were going to get this thing back on track and be sitting at 3-2 like you are now?
I had a feeling we could come back and make up for it.
All right, it's getting about time for you guys to get Lee County again. I don't want you to look past anything on the schedule. I'm just putting it out there. You understand what I'm saying? All right, guys, anything you'd like to add? No? Coach?
No, I'm proud of them. They both done a great job for us. I mean, this young man right here, Cedric is a really good football player now. But this compliment beside him makes it really, really hard because both of these guys require double teams, in my opinion, and depending on what you want to do with them. And by doing that, they allow those other young guys to free up. So great young man. Not only a great young man, a good football player too. And DeAndre, like I said, he's played a lot of different spots for us this year while we get everything settled in and our depth issues worked out. And who knows, he may even still throw some even though he's pitchback.
I was going to ask, but I didn't think you'd want to commit that.
But see, now everybody has to worry about it. Say, oh man, that crazy joker might have a tailback pass.
That's strategy.
Yeah,
That's how
but we may not either,
think.
though. We could be off a reverse too, though. I don't know. I mean, all kinds of ways we can.
They can hand you the ball, Chops.
Yeah. Well, no, he probably won't get that. If he wants it, he needs to knock it out and scoop it up and go score. That's how he's going to get it.
Very good.
Let me present him to him here. Defensive player of the game and offensive player of the game. And I believe we're out of time.
And this is a $25 gift card
there you go.
to Zaxby's. That's as cool as those trophies are, people tend to get more excited about the chicken, man. It's amazing how that works. This has been the Zaxby's Coaches Show. I'm Chris Delambert. Thanks to Coach Steve Burdeau and his guys. Thank you to Coach Neal. It's going to be a couple weeks before we see you all again.
That's all right. We're going to be fine. We'll
all
survive.
Right.
We'll get through it, and we're going to keep working hard. And like I say, we're going 1-0 for 5 weeks in a row. That's our goal.
All right. Sounds like a great goal. This has been the Zaxby's Coaches Show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching the Zaxby's Coaches Show, brought to you by First Bank and by Zaxby's Friends Family Flavor with your host, Chris Delambert.